Alright. So pretty much today what I'm going to do, since I haven't been uploading videos in a very long time, is I'm just going to go through and do a quick hard gollux run, which is when you kill him with only killing one piece, which usually for me is the core. I am far beyond strong enough to do hell mode, so we're just going to go ahead and do the basics and hope for some good drops, and I'll give you a rough idea of how I go about doing this. And maybe encourage you guys to play it as well. This is usually the slowest way, but for whatever reason, it's just my preference. If you go either to the arms, it's usually faster because the monsters there don't cast weapon cancel. But I mean, if you're not in a hurry, you're just kind of, just moseying along like I am right now. It doesn't really matter. Ever since Red, Paladin's gotten this huge update that's just been phenomenal. And has pretty much opened up a shit ton of doors for me that I didn't have before. They have a lot of new skills, like instead of charges being a buff, you have your actual attack skills now that replace charge blow. And it acts as charges, which at the same time give you % weapon attack bonus right here. Blast got upped thanks to this passive here that actually adds more hits to it, making it stronger. And I'll show you the significance of these buffs versus, being unbuffed how it used to be. So pretty much now we're going to go in and kill the head, and I'm going to go ahead and buff up. And just my range, just with the 5 charges, is over a mil. Prior to the patch, I had trouble breaking 700k. And then we'll go in and get my Monster Park Extreme Potions, the basic stuff. Just go in, kill him. Now, his little things, for those of you who haven't done it before, is these little guys here. If you get 5 of them that go into his head, essentially it's a guaranteed one-shot kill. So when you're bossing or 1v1ing anything, or just training, you want to get your 5 charges and then use blast. You're going to see that little passive skill right here on the right that gives you more. It gives you 40% crit chance and plus I think it's 40% total damage. And it's just a huge boost. And then once you get your 5 charges again, you're just going to go back to 1v1ing with blast because it hits up to 10 times. And it's a significant increase because now you can see now I'm at almost 1.3 mil range, which is, almost a pure 300k increase from a couple attack potions and just that one buff itself. Now, there's a pot cooldown here in Gollux, which is severely annoying, especially because there's a glitch with Potion Pot for whatever reason, but thankfully we have a healing skill that, isn't on cooldown, as you can see, because I keep getting disoriented and going the wrong way, and it will help. So, and then when your charge runs out, you have to recast it, and as you can see, it absorbed my 5 charges, and then just recharge it back up, and then just like that, my range will be back. And then just go right back to it, 1v1ing. Threaten seems to work a lot more often now than it used to, which is really good because then you don't have to sit there and spam it. Before Red, I tried hard, and needless to say, I think I got about 20% in as far as damage, and I had to stop because I couldn't kill him fast enough. And now, there's just a significant difference in damage. It's just unreal. So, and also, if you ever want to use potions, like I was running low on MP, you can use power elixirs. Power elixirs also, apply to the cooldown, but thankfully they're not glitched like the potion pot is. So if you have auto HP up, I would unequip it for fights like this because then it's just going to automatically trigger your pot cooldown and you're not going to be able to heal. I mean, he's got 3 basic attacks, pretty much. He's got his smog, and then he's got his hand that he summoned. Sorry, my mic went out there for some reason. And then his third attack would be the both at the same time. Now, when he comes to his next form, it's going to be significantly more difficult because he's got a whole new plethora of attacks that you have to deal with. That unless you could DPS him down fast enough, and thankfully that we're pallies, we can actually go invincible. It becomes increasingly difficult the longer you're in the fight. And we'll get to that as soon as I finish him off here. You also, which I'm going to go do now, is you can actually leave the map up until, or I can die too. You can leave the map up until, I think you can leave it at any given time, but when he starts his second form, I think it becomes a lot more harder. So I'm going to rebuff here real quick. We're just going to go right back in. And just go back in, and then unfortunately when you die you lose your charges too, so I gotta get those back as well. Charge has become a very great training skill as well. It's just, I mean, I went from like 4 and 5 shotting at Warrior Grounds to 3 shotting, or 3 to 2 shotting with absolutely no difference in my gear whatsoever other than these new skills. I mean, it's just made such an impact overall to Paladins, and from what I've been hearing all the other explorers, and it's just been, I don't know, needless to say, it's definitely made me want to play the game more, which I'm sure was their goal. Now, just like before though with Blast, it's got a little bit of issues with when you're casting it, you can't just jump out of it like you can with other classes. So if you get caught out, the easiest way to move is just use Rush. And you'll rush right through his head, and that'll help you escape faster, and you could stay longer, maybe getting another hit in or two. Sometimes it doesn't always work though. As you can see, his breath usually is really hard to dodge, but when his hand as well as when he uses them both, there's a little bit of extra iframes there that well, I missed it that time, but that you can dodge. So once again, I'm going to go back out and rebuff. That's my potions, but thankfully these are easy to obtain on lower level characters, so I'm just going to go right back in with a couple more. And hopefully we're going to try not to die again, but the hand tends to one-shot. This is a really annoying boss too, because what we're going to see when we get to the second form is he has an ability that, you know, inverses all your directions. And while overall it's not that big of a deal, you can't dodge it with Synchro Sanctity like you can everything else. You won't take damage from any of his skills, but you will pretty much be immobilized, and it just becomes really annoying because if you're not caught on top, then you have to very frustratingly just try to DPS him down with it, and it's heavily difficult. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to stop right there, and we're going to go out, fully rebuff right before his form, because as soon as he's dead, we're going to go right in and go invincible, finish him off, and I forgot to pot up. And then we're going to just try and hustle him down in the 30 seconds that I've got of invincibility. So now he's invincible. And there's the skill that I hate, which is the one that changes up, but usually what I try to do is I try to jump to the other side as soon as it is done, because Blast has enough range to hit over here, and all I have to do is press up on the portal. And the one thing you have to watch for though is the counter, because if you're not on bottom, they're going to start adding up really quick. As you can see, it's going to go from 2 to 4 pretty darn quick. So if you can't kill fast enough, which thankfully I was, then just like that you're going to die. So if you can't kill fast, you have to drop down, kill all the monsters, go back up, and just try to DPS as fast as you can. That was actually one of my more successful runs, which is really surprising. Usually I struggle a lot because I just get really lucky with either lag or some iframes here that I miss. But then you have your long exit, in which the story that you have to deal with every time you kill him. But hopefully we're going to get lucky and get some good drops. I've gotten 2 140 pendants right now that I'm going to be using for my 0. That I'm really looking forward to, so I hope we get another one, because they're worth a pretty good chunk of money. So we got a pendant, and it looks like it's just the 121. Oh yeah, it's just the 121. I mean, they're not worth a lot of money, but I mean, it's, you know, 20-30 mil here or there helps, so you can't really complain about it all at the same time. Now, if you're ever stuck in this area, you're gonna want to use any skills, any teleport skills you can, because you can't use a hyper rock. So what I do is I always use the Elven Blessing to get me out of here, and then I'll just hyper rock to where I need to go. So that's pretty much all that I have for this boss. Feel free to post in the comments and suggest other videos you guys want me to see. I'm fairly new to recording MapleStory, even though I stream it. So if you have suggestions for me and things you want to see, just feel free to post in the comments and let me know, and I'll be happy to record them for you. So if you enjoy the channel, please like, subscribe, or whatever the hell that YouTube does, and I'll see you guys next time.